Hey there, welcome to this episode. We're going to be taking a look at the erase function on the MPC. Nice and simple. Most MPCs will have a dedicated erase button somewhere on the hardware depending on the model. Mine is up here. Let's go over to grid view first, because for new users, I want you to see in real time what we're actually deleting. That's going to be pretty important. We've created a 2-bar drum loop, so we have some MIDI information. It's all very basic, but you can see those MIDI notes. Consists of 3 simple sounds: kick drum, hi-hat, and a snare, just so that you know exactly what we're erasing. Let's go to erase. This is our erase window where we have our erasing options. The first 2 that you can select with our little red rectangle is the location. Where do you want to erase? So currently we only have 1 sequence and 1 track in this demonstration project, but typically you may have multiple tracks, multiple sequences. So you could specify and say sequence 2, track number 8, just as a random example. Underneath, we have what we want to erase, the portion of that sequence or all of the sequence. We have from bar 1 to the beginning of bar 3. Now on a 2-bar loop, that is everything. So if we have all selected and I say do it, we've deleted all of the information. I'm going to be using the undo button to bring it back just so that we can look at the different modes. Let's go to erase. I've already done an episode on bar, beat, and tick. You can check that out. But we could essentially narrow this down to very, very specific locations, all the way down to, say, a single note. But as another demonstration, let's just keep it simple. I will move it over. So we're going to erase from the beginning of the 2nd bar to the beginning of the 3rd bar. When I say do it, we've left the 1st bar alone and we've deleted everything from the 2nd bar. So it's really simple to follow. It's just something that if you're not familiar with the MPC, it takes a little bit of time to get used to. But that's really what we're doing. We're choosing specific portions, specific notes that we can erase. Let's go to erase again. This next tab over is automation. Now we're going to cover this more in the automation episode, but if you've recorded automation, changed some parameters, filter sweeps, that type of thing, this is one location where you can erase that information. We'll move over, take a look at something else that we can look at in this episode. The first one here is note. Now, if I select the hi-hats and say do it, what you'll notice, it's deleted all of the hi-hats out. Let's undo that. We go back to erase. The other option is accept note, which is kind of like the opposite. If we choose the hi-hat again in the middle and I say do it, you'll notice it's deleted everything but the hi-hats. Again, we'll undo that. So there's various ways to play around with it. It is a pretty handy little function. The final thing before we sign off in this episode is to take a look at real-time erasing. Now we do that within our overdub menu. If you just press record and play start and you've got a MIDI loop like this set up, what it's going to do is it's going to overwrite. So technically that's another way that you could delete the information. I could just do record and play start, and as this ticks down, you can see it's deleting all my information. But really you're going to be talking about overdub recording. So in overdub mode, I can come in, I can maintain my MIDI notes, but I could add extra MIDI notes. When we're in that mode, we can press our erase button and it will tell us we can hold down a pad to erase notes in real time. And I might just do this with the snares. You can see this on the top row, hopefully. We'll erase just some snare drums in real time. So let's do that. Overdub and record. Hold down our erase button. And I've erased out a couple of snares. Quite useful because, as you can see, if you've got something that's relatively slow moving and you've got enough time, I could delete individual notes. So there we just took out a couple of the snare drums. Anyway, we'll leave it there for today's episode, but it's a pretty handy little function. The erase button. See you guys in the next episode.